Hello everyone, I'm PapaKenn and welcome to a brand new episode of Discovering Steven Universe, and this is Charlie. Wait. Okay. Good boy. Let's get on with the show. As I said earlier, welcome to a brand new episode of Discovering Steven Universe. And apparently the show just needed a couple of episodes to, I guess, give us some padding until this episode arrived because, oh my god, so many birthdays. This is strangely another episode that I honestly have no annoyances with at all. It had me intrigued from the very beginning. I mean, there's just talking at the beginning, they're just talking about how the gyms haven't really celebrated any birthdays. One slight annoyance, and it's the ever so slightest annoyance, is that the random burrito thing, that was weird. Really, really weird. But that's about as close as I get. Anyway, talking about how old the gyms are, and just like when Steven found the picture, it's like, why are they in these old-timey clothes? Because those were old-timey people. That was the gyms in the past, and they are an unknowable, well, I guess for us, an unknowable number of years old, because they don't actually age, which, was a funny and interesting little side story at first. I have a cat claw sticking out from under my door and it's creepy. Looks like a little alien claw. Anyway, the parties the birthday parties that Steven throws for the gyms, it was really cute and adorable. And I mean, obviously the gyms weren't really all about it because they weren't used to that kind of thing. They've never celebrated birthdays. That's literally the first time that they've celebrated a birthday, as far as I can tell. Although I do wonder what they've done with Steven in the past. But for them, again, they've never personally celebrated their own birthdays, if they even have one. But then when it comes to Steven and apparently his gym giving him the ability to fluctuate in age depending on his state of mind, that was a really intense and truly intriguing plot device. I mean, and it's definitely something that can come back in the future because it's part of who he is. It's part of the magic in his gym. But, I mean, the one kind of issue is that, I mean, obviously the show's about Steven, so it's extremely unlikely that they're going to let him die, especially this early into the show when it's a kid's show. But just the emotion behind the gyms when they honestly didn't know what to do. When they were trying to save Steven and he's getting older and older and more weak and feeble. My eyes were glued to the TV. Like, I had to see what happened next. And then we reach a point where we're from Steven's point of view, and he can't even really hear anymore. Like, he hears muffled voices, and his vision is blurry. And, I mean, the way that they animate it, like, getting closer and closer to his face and older and more feeble, I mean, again, if not for the logical side of my mind kicking in and telling me, well, they're obviously not going to kill him, it's like, I was legitimately concerned. I was like, what is going to happen to Steven here? This is more than a little insane what's going on right now. And, I mean, the very end of the episode where he's back to normal except for, like, long adult hairy legs, which was kind of weird, to say the least. That aside, I really found it intriguing. Again, just this is another one of those episodes that had me grasped from beginning to end, and they used a few different themes. Again, going from just like, the happy, silly, and kind of weird aspect of Steven throwing the parties for them to this very serious, very dark section where, like, Lars and, I keep forgetting her name, but the girl at the donut shop, it's like, they're freaked out. They don't know that this is Steven. It's just some creepy old guy that kind of looks like Steven. And then from there, it's like Steven's on the verge of dying because, as Pearl says, crystal gems can't die of old age, but humans can. And if Steven's gem, if his state of mind reaches the point where he's so old he could die, that could kill him. And that's a really weird idea to have in a kid's show. It's very, I'm still blown away by it. I'm amazed that they did that. I applaud them for doing that. It was essentially handled in a way that I imagine kids can absorb pretty well. It would scare them, probably. I was worried for Steven. But at the same time, and this is one thing I've noticed when the show has gone into some of its more deep, some of its relatively darker themes, is that it takes those themes and it portrays them in a way that is both adult and for kids, but doesn't talk down to kids. It's talking to kids as if they are, it's talking to kids like grown-ups, like a lot of kids want to be treated. And just the way that they did it in this episode was just absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, you bet your, I'm gonna try and watch my language, you bet your butt I'm gonna be watching the next episode and then doing another review right after this, because I'm just too invested right now. This is one of those points where I wish it wasn't Sunday night and I wish I could just marathon a bunch of the show. But unfortunately I have work tomorrow, so I probably can only do one more episode unless it particularly intrigues me, at which point I might record another. But alright, everyone, thank you very much for joining me for this episode of Discovering Steven Universe, and I will see you all next time for an episode which name I can't remember. It is called Lars and the Cool Kids. So I will see you all next time for Discovering Steven Universe, Lars and the Cool Kids. And until then, everyone, L on Z!